You've been there, at the bottom, unnoticed, insignificant, just a pawn on someone else's chessboard. You felt the weight of being controlled by the hands of others, pushed around by circumstances you didn't choose. Your every move dictated, your every decision made for you. It's like you've been living someone else's life, fighting battles that aren't yours, struggling in silence while others control your fate. The people around you, they see you as weak. They underestimate you, thinking you're nothing more than a small piece in their game, a tool to be used, then discarded. They don't see you. They don't understand your pain, your sacrifices, your dreams. You're just another piece to move around, and they've already decided where you'll go. They tell you what to think, what to feel, what to believe, and somehow you've come to accept it. You've started to believe them. You've started to believe that your future is locked in place, that you're meant to stay stuck, forever chasing after the crumbs they throw your way. Maybe it's society pushing you into a mold, telling you who you should be. Maybe it's a family that demands you fit into their expectations, no matter how heavy they are. Or maybe it's a boss, a mentor, a friend, or a partner who feeds you just enough hope to keep you moving forward while pulling the strings behind the curtain. They whisper sweet lies in your ear, convincing you that you need them, that without them, you'll be nothing. And deep down, somewhere inside you, you start to believe it. You start to think, maybe they're right. Maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe this is all you'll ever be, a pawn. But I'm here to tell you something you may have forgotten. You were never just a pawn. The people who've tried to control you, the ones who've played the game with your life, they've made one massive mistake. They forgot one thing, your power. They may have thought they could break you, manipulate you, use you for their own gain, but they didn't see what you were really made of. They didn't see that within you. There's a force more powerful than any of their tricks, their lie, or their control. You've been underestimated, manipulated, discarded, but that's not the end of the story. That's just the beginning. Because in the depths of your pain, in the very struggle they've forced upon you, is the spark of something greater. You're not just a pawn. You never were. You've been playing a game that they set up, but now it's time for you to rewrite the rules. You're not what they said you were. You're not their puppet. You are not their tool. You're more than that. You have always been more than that. And the moment you realize that, the moment you understand the power you hold, everything will change. This isn't just a game anymore. It's your game. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for validation. Stop letting them decide your future. You're about to learn something that will change everything you've ever believed about yourself. Because the truth is, your destiny was never in their hand. It's always been in yours. You know what it feels like to be stuck in the dark, don't you? To wake up every day with the weight of the world crushing down on your chest. Every breath harder to take. Your body is there, but your mind is somewhere else, somewhere lost, somewhere broken. And the worst part, you don't even know how you got here. You didn't choose this. You didn't ask for this life, this struggle, this pain. But somehow, here you are, trapped. It feels like you're suffocating in your own life, like every move you make just leads to a dead end. You've been in this place for so long, it's starting to feel like a prison. And no matter how much you scream inside, no one seems to hear you. You're invisible, unnoticed, as if your pain doesn't matter. You're not the first to feel this way, and you won't be the last. But when you're in it, it feels like the end of the world. The nights are the worst, aren't they? When the world goes quiet, and all you're left with is your own thoughts. It's like a storm in your mind, crashing against the walls of your skull. The doubts come flooding in, louder, sharper, more insistent. You'll never make it. You're not strong enough. Look at you, so broken, so lost. Who do you think you are to dream of something more? This is it for you. This is your life. The voice of doubt is like a chain wrapped around your heart, dragging you deeper into despair. You've tried to ignore it. You've tried to push it away, but it keeps coming back, like a thief in the night, stealing your hope, your energy, your will to fight. Every day feels like a battle you're losing, and the worst part is, you don't know how to win, but deep down, you know there's something else there. That small voice, faint but present, that whispers, "You're not done yet." It's the glimmer of hope, the voice of your true self, the one who knows you're capable of more, the one who still believes in your strength, even when you don't. It's not much, not yet, but it's there, buried under the weight of all your fears, all your failures, all the voices telling you that you're not enough. That's the real fight, isn't it? The one between the voice of doubt, telling you that you'll never get out, and the voice of hope, reminding you that you were meant for something greater. It's a war that plays out every day in your mind, in your heart. Every time you feel that darkness creeping in, you have to make a choice. Will you listen to the doubt, or will you listen to that quiet, stubborn hope? I know it's hard. I know it feels like the battle is too much, but you are not powerless. You are not weak. The struggle you're facing right now, the one that seems impossible to overcome, is only shaping you. Every sleepless night, every tear, every heartbreak, it's all part of the process. It's part of the fire that's forging you into something stronger. You're not stuck. You're being prepared for something greater than you've ever imagined. And here's the truth. This struggle isn't just yours. It's universal. Everyone has their own battle, their own demons to fight. Everyone feels the weight of the world at some point. Everyone has those moments of doubt, of wondering if they'll ever make it. But the difference between those who stay stuck and those who break free is this. The ones who break free are the ones who refuse to let the doubt win. You've been told you're not enough. You've been made to feel small, insignificant. But that's a lie. That's the lie they want you to believe. Because if they can keep you thinking you're powerless, they can keep you in the dark, locked in place. But you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not stuck. The strength you need is already within you. You just have to remember how to find it. It's not easy. It never is. But I promise you this, you are not alone in this. You are not the only one fighting this battle. And as long as you keep fighting, you will find a way out, one small step at a time. And when you look back, you'll see how far you've come. You'll realize that this struggle, this pain, was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to make you unstoppable. So don't stop now. Don't give in to the doubt. Don't let the darkness consume you. The fight is far from over, and you are far from defeated. You've got something inside you that they can't take away. And soon, that quiet voice of hope will be louder than the doubts, louder than the fears, and you'll see the truth. You are stronger than you ever knew. There comes a moment in every struggle, in every life that's been held captive by fear and doubt, when everything shifts. It doesn't happen all at once. It's not some grand explosion of understanding. No, it's more subtle, more powerful. It's the moment when your mind begins to awaken, when the fog clears just enough for you to see the truth that has always been there, waiting for you. Maybe you felt it already, just a whisper at first, a glimmer in the dark, a fleeting thought that maybe, just maybe, things don't have to be this way. Maybe your life wasn't meant to be a series of endless battles, always losing, always falling short. Maybe there's more to you, something greater waiting to break free. And in that moment, everything changes. You stand still for a second, caught between disbelief and possibility. The past, with its pain, its failures, its mistakes, starts to fade. And for the first time, you see yourself not as a pawn in someone else's game, but as something far more powerful. Think of it like this. You've spent your whole life on a chessboard, only able to move one square at a time, limited by the rules others set. You've been pushed forward by forces outside of your control, stuck in a predictable pattern, never allowed to stray from the path they've chosen for you. You've been a pawn, small, vulnerable, easy to manipulate, but what if that's not who you are? What if you've been playing the wrong game this whole time? In that moment of realization, you begin to see the board differently. Suddenly you understand that you're not just a pawn. You never were. You have the ability to move in ways you didn't know were possible. You can go diagonal. You can leap forward. You can be more than anyone ever imagined you could be. You can change the game. It's like a switch flips inside you. You've been running on autopilot, living under someone else's rules, thinking that this was all life had to offer. But now, you see the truth. You are not a small, insignificant piece. You are a force in this game, capable of making moves that no one else can predict. The struggle you've been facing wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to teach you. You weren't just learning how to survive. You were learning how to thrive. You were learning the game, one painful step at a time. Every challenge, every obstacle was a lesson in disguise. Every setback, every failure was simply a way to prepare you for the moment when you would realize your true power. This is your awakening. This is the point where you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the victor. This is where you begin to understand that the fight you've been in wasn't about being a pawn. It was about learning how to play the game, how to move with intention, how to take control of your life instead of letting it control you. And here's the key. The game you're playing now isn't just about surviving. It's about dominating. It's about recognizing that you hold the power to change everything. You've been waiting for someone to come and tell you that you're worth something, that you can do something incredible. Well, I'm telling you now, you are worth everything. You are capable of everything. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly believe in your own potential, that's when everything will change. No more standing still. No more letting life pass you by. The moment of realization is the moment when you understand that you are the one who determines your fate. You are the one who decides how this game plays out. You are the one who gets to make the next move. And let me tell you something. You're about to make the most powerful move of your life. The move that will shatter the illusion they've built around you. The move that will silence the doubt, the fear, the pain. The move that will propel you into a future you never thought possible. So stand up, take a deep breath, look at yourself, at who you've become, and know this. You are no longer a pawn. You are the one who runs the whole game now. The battle isn't over, but you're not fighting it alone anymore. You're fighting it with the knowledge, the strength, and the power you've been building all along. And with that realization, you'll take your first step into a future where the only thing that matters is how far you're willing to go. The world is yours. The game is yours. And now you're ready to win. The voice of doubt is relentless, isn't it? It's the one that whispers in your ear, urging you to stay quiet, stay small, stay safe. It tells you that you don't deserve more, that you'll never be enough, that you'll never rise above where you are now. That voice is loud. It's constant. It's like a shadow that follows you around, always lurking in the background, waiting for a moment of weakness. It tells you things like, you'll never be successful. You're not cut out for this. Don't even try, because you'll fail just like you always do. It's easy to listen to that voice. It's easy to believe in the lies it feeds you. After all, it's been with you for so long, hasn't it? It's been there since you were young, when you started questioning your worth. It's been there when life knocked you down, when others told you you wouldn't make it. It's the voice that said, "Who do you think you are?" whenever you dared to dream. It's the villain, the enemy, the one that's been keeping you chained to a life of mediocrity. But here's the truth. That voice is not who you are. It's not your truth. It's a lie. And it's time you start pushing back. The moment you decided to play the game, to rise up and recognize your power, that voice, that doubt, began to roar louder. It doesn't want you to change. It doesn't want you to succeed. Because if you break free, if you really start believing in yourself, it loses. It has no place in your life anymore. And that's why it fights you. That's why it makes you question everything. That's why it tries to drag you down, to keep you trapped in the chains it forged around your heart and mind. But you know what? Those chains are not as strong as you think. They may feel heavy, they may feel like they're holding you back, but they're not unbreakable. In fact, the moment you decide to fight, the moment you decide that you're done with being shackled by fear and doubt, those chains will start to crack. They'll start to break. And with every piece that falls away, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel freer. You'll feel the power that's always been inside you. Don't mistake this. Breaking these chains won't be easy. The voice of doubt will fight you. It will tell you that you're being foolish, that you're dreaming too big, that it's too late for you. But that's a lie. It's always been a lie. The cost of playing it safe, of listening to that voice, is far greater than the cost of stepping out and facing your fears. The emotional toll it takes on your soul to stay stuck, to live in a cage of your own making, is immeasurable. The fear, it's not real. It's just a feeling. And feelings, no matter how strong they are, don't control you unless you let them. Fear is the mind's way of protecting you from the unknown. But what you've learned is this: the unknown is where your power lies. It's where growth happens. It's where change takes root. And when you step into that unknown, when you face that fear head on, it loses its grip on you. That's where the real power is, in facing what scares you, in standing tall when everything inside you is screaming to turn away, in choosing to move forward, even when the road ahead is uncertain, because on the other side of fear lies the life you've always dreamed of, the success you've always wanted, the person you've always known you could be. So here's what you need to do. You need to confront the villain. You need to stand up to the voice that's been holding you back for all these years and tell it, enough. You need to break the chains of doubt, of fear, of self-limiting beliefs. You need to let them fall to the ground, shattered and useless, because you are not the person they tried to make you believe you were. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not limited by the past, by the mistakes, by the things you didn't have control over. You are a warrior, and you have the power to crush the doubts, to silence the fear, and to step into your greatness. Remember, it's not about avoiding the fear. It's about moving through it. It's about feeling the weight of the chains, but choosing to break free, piece by piece, until there's nothing left to hold you down. It's about realizing that the greatest enemy you'll ever face is the one inside your head. And once you defeat it, nothing will stand in your way. So today, make a decision, make a declaration. You are done with the chains. You are done with fear. You are done with self-doubt. You are ready to live, to move, to create. And from this moment on, you will never let those chains control you again. You will break them. And when you do, you will walk forward, untethered, unstoppable. Because you know now that the only thing that has ever held you back is you, and you are done holding yourself back. The journey of growth is never a straight line. It's not the easy path, the comfortable path, or the one that promises instant rewards. No, growth is a battlefield. It's gritty, it's relentless, and most importantly, it's messy. You've learned the game. You've seen the truth of who you really are. You've broken free from the chains of doubt and fear. But now, the real work begins, the real battle. Because while recognizing your power is the first step, the journey of becoming the person you're destined to be, truly becoming, is a road that will test you in ways you never imagined. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the lessons start to sink in. The lessons of hard work, resilience, and persistence. Growth doesn't come easy. It comes through pain. It comes through setbacks. It comes through failure after failure. And yet, you keep going. You keep grinding. You keep pushing forward because you know that there is no other choice. Every warrior is forged in the fire of struggle. They're not made in the comfort of a safe, predictable world. No, warriors are made in the chaos, in the sweat and the blood, in the moments when they want to quit, when everything inside them is screaming to give up, but they choose to keep moving. And that's the reality of growth. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly be the person you want to be. You're not going to be instantly perfect, but you will be better. Every single day, you will be better. Because growth is a process. It's something you have to practice. It's like training for a fight, over and over again, until your muscles are sore and your mind is exhausted. But you keep going anyway. There are days when you'll feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Days when you'll wonder if the struggle is worth it, when the setbacks feel too heavy to bear. There will be times when you'll question everything, when you'll look in the mirror and wonder if you're really cut out for this. And in those moments, it's easy to lose faith. It's easy to think that you've made no progress. But don't fall into that trap. Don't let those thoughts dictate your journey. Because even on those days when it feels like you're stuck, even when you're hitting walls, you are still growing. You are still learning. You are still becoming. Every challenge, every obstacle is a lesson in disguise. Every time you push through the pain, you're becoming stronger. Every time you pick yourself up after a setback, you're learning how to stand taller, how to move forward with more resilience. This is where the warrior's journey really begins. It's not just about fighting external battles. It's about fighting the internal one, the self-doubt, the fear, the desire to quit when things get hard. Every warrior faces this battle every single time they step into the ring. But what makes them a warrior is not their ability to avoid hardship. It's their ability to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. And you're learning how to be that warrior. You're learning how to fight not just for survival, but for greatness. Every rep, every hour of effort, every mistake, every failure is a step towards the warrior you're becoming. It's messy, it's frustrating, but it's worth it. You might feel like giving up sometimes. But let me tell you this, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's persistence. It's the willingness to keep going when everyone else would quit. It's the ability to look at the struggle and say, I'm not finished yet. I'm not done. I will keep fighting until I get where I'm going. This is what the journey of growth requires. Not perfection, not instant results. It requires grit. It requires resilience. It requires the ability to take the hits, to get knocked down, and to stand up again, stronger than before. It's about learning from every failure, refining your skills with every challenge, and becoming better with each step. And here's the thing, the more you push yourself, the more you practice, the more you put in the effort, the more rewarding it becomes. You will look back one day and realize just how far you've come. You will see the person you were and compare them to the person you are now. And you will feel a sense of pride that you can't get from any shortcut, from any easy path. You'll know that every struggle, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was worth it. Because in the end, growth is not just about the destination. It's about the person you become along the way. It's about forging a new version of yourself, one that is stronger, smarter, more capable, and more resilient than you could have ever imagined. So take the long road. Embrace the struggle. Because every ounce of effort, every bit of pain, every challenge you face will make you into the person you were always meant to be. The road to greatness is never easy, but it's the only road that leads to something truly worth having. And you, my friend, are already on it. Keep moving, keep growing, keep fighting. The warrior within you is waiting to rise. The moment you realize that you are not bound by the chains that once held you is a moment of pure liberation. It's the moment when all the struggles, all the pain, all the doubts, everything you've endured becomes the fuel that propels you forward. It's the moment when the world that once seemed so heavy and oppressive finally starts to shift, revealing a path where you are no longer a prisoner of fear, no longer a victim to your circumstances. The truth is this: you were never as weak as you thought. You were never as powerless as they made you believe. You were always capable of breaking free, but you had to see it for yourself. You had to believe in your own strength. You had to feel the sting of the cocoon before you could spread your wings. Now the door is open. You've stepped into a world that is no longer dominated by the external forces that once controlled you. You've emerged from the darkness, from the place where you were trapped, bound by limitations that were never truly yours. It's as if you've been set free, released from a prison you built yourself, or one that was built for you. Think of the butterfly hidden in the cocoon. It struggles, it fights, it claws its way out of that suffocating shell. The process is not easy. It's painful, it's slow, and it requires every ounce of energy. But once the struggle is over, the butterfly emerges, its wings stretched wide, free to fly, free to soar. That's you now. You are the butterfly, breaking free from the cocoon of your fears and doubts. You are the one who has fought through the darkness, fought through the uncertainty, and fought through the belief that you were nothing more than a pawn in someone else's game. You are free now, free to create your own destiny, free to fly high above the limitations that once seemed to define you. It doesn't happen overnight. The change is gradual, and it's often subtle. At first, it's just a small victory, a tiny crack in the wall that once confined you. Maybe it's a success at work. Maybe it's standing up for yourself when you once would have remained silent. It might be something as small as taking a step that you were once too afraid to take. But these small victories, they matter. They are the first signs that the shift is happening. They are the first signs that you are no longer who you once were. Every step you take in the direction of your freedom is another victory, another piece of evidence that you can overcome whatever was once holding you back. These victories are like bricks in the foundation of the new life you're building. And with each success, with each breakthrough, you become stronger, more confident, more aware of your own power. The key to these moments of success is not just what they represent, but how they shift your perception of yourself. You are no longer a prisoner of your fears. You are no longer bound by the limitations of your past. You've broken free, and now the world is yours to conquer. There will be setbacks. There will be days when the doubts return, when the fear threatens to pull you back into the darkness. But now you have something different inside you. You have the memory of your own strength. You've seen the fruits of your labor. You've tasted success, even if it was small, and you know now that you are capable of much more. You've broken the chains, and no matter how strong the pull of the past may be, you are free to move forward. It's like a prison door that's been unlocked. You are held captive by the weight of your own insecurities, your own fears, your own doubts. But now, that door is wide open, and you are free to step into the life you've always deserved. And with that freedom comes a sense of responsibility. Responsibility to continue the work you've started, to continue pushing through the challenges, to continue breaking through the limitations, and to continue growing. The road ahead is not easy, but it is yours to take. And for the first time in a long time, you know that you can walk it with your head held high. This is your moment. This is your freedom. This is the beginning of your transformation. You are no longer the person who was controlled, who was held back, who was made to feel small. You are now the person who controls the game. You are the one who decides your fate, and you are just getting started. So take a deep breath. Embrace this freedom. Embrace the power you now know you have. The doors that were once locked are now wide open, and you, my friend, are free to walk through them. Step into your future, into the life that was always meant for you. It's waiting for you. You've awakened, you've broken free, and now there's no turning back. The game is in your hand. The pieces are yours to move. The power to shape your destiny is no longer a distant dream. It is your reality. You are no longer the pawn, the one pushed around, the one controlled. You are the king, the queen, the master of the board. It's time to own the game. No more hiding behind the shadows of doubt. No more playing small. No more letting others define who you are or what you're capable of. You are the one who decides the moves, who decides the direction, who decides the outcome. This is your moment to claim what is rightfully yours. Look at the board. It is vast, and it is full of opportunities. Every piece represents a choice, a direction, a potential. And now, you are the one in control. Every decision you make, every move you take, holds the power to change everything. The pieces of your life are no longer scattered at the whim of others. You control them, you move them. You decide how the game is played. Think about the pawn. Once, you were that small, insignificant piece, unable to move beyond your limited reach. But now you're the one who commands the game. You have the strategy, you have the vision, and you have the power to see it through. The board is yours. You are no longer just a piece in someone else's game. You are the one who writes the rules. You are the one who sets the course, and nothing, no one, can stop you. This is the moment where you claim your agency. The moment where you stop waiting for permission, stop seeking validation, and stop asking for approval. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's approval to go after your dreams. You don't need anyone's approval to live a life of freedom, success, and fulfillment. You have everything you need within you. You are the one in charge now. The world has been telling you for so long that you were small, that you were insignificant, that you were powerless. But you've realized the truth. None of that matters anymore. The narrative they tried to impose on you is no longer valid. You are writing a new story, a story where you are the hero, a story where you are the one who decides how things unfold, a story where you take charge, own your power, and claim your destiny. This is your time to shine, your time to show the world who you really are. It's time to step into the life you've always deserved. It's time to take the reins, to stand tall, and to declare to the world, I'm in charge now. But there's something important you need to understand. Owning the game doesn't mean it will always be easy. It doesn't mean there won't be obstacles or challenges. It doesn't mean the road ahead will always be smooth. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep back in. There will be moments when fear tries to paralyze you. But here's the thing. You've already been through the hardest part. You've already fought the internal battles. You've already broken free. Now all that's left is to move forward with confidence, with purpose, and with an unshakable belief in yourself.